So first, to write this, you have to make a note like this, and it is one line or second line, you can use anything. So suppose if you are using second line, semicolon should be the end part. Okay, you have to give a semicolon, must and should. If you want to run this, you can use control plus enter, shortcut key, if you want to run the single query at a time. Suppose I want to run this query and I'm using control enter. Can you see here? And whenever you give the hashtag, which means it's a command, you're just giving the information what you want to do it. Okay, now here what we are trying to do, we are creating a dashboard, creating XLR database. This is what we have done. So the form we should write like this: create database name called XLR. And if you run again, you need to keep a cursor here, then control enter, it will run and it will show you here. But it is affected here, but it will not show you here until unless you refresh this. Clear on the concept? Can you guys? Now, in this, what you're gonna do is, if you want to delete the database which you have created, you can use drop database. Okay, which database you are looking for? XLR. So you need to type XLR and semicolon and then control enter, or else you can click on this thunder icon. But remember, please mute offline. Yes, but always remember guys, you have to use here this option. Okay, if you are running with a mouse, keep your cursor here and click on this. It will give you the answer. Now, if you see, you don't have any database, which is called XLR. I hope this makes clear to everyone. So what we have done, first we have look into the database, how many database we have it. Okay, you may have 3 or 4. Then we have created one more database, which is called XLR. And if you refresh here, automatically you'll see. Then after that, I'm deleting that database. So we have deleted. Yesterday, without writing the query, we have done. Today, with writing the query. Clear on this? Any questions? Okay. Online, I hope this makes clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Thank you. So now next question here. Whenever you're seeing the database, you will be having the arrow buttons here. For example, I'm just showing you. If you see here, any one table from my side, the database. So if I open this Jan 25, and if I expand this, can you see all the information? These are called tables. Okay. Now we need to create a new database where we need to understand how to create a database and table, how to see the table. So for that, few things you need to check it out. First is called as a data type. What do we call? Data type. So how many data types we have in real-time scenario? Till now, whatever you have learned. Please, you guys give me plus in all the tools.
Oh.
So basically, whatever you have learned, it's actually 6. One is string. Do you know what is string? Text. Okay. The next one is integers, which is known as numbers. Okay. The third one is known as date, which is known as date again. The fourth one is date and time. So that is also considered as date and time. I hope this makes clear. Then the last option, Boolean, which is known as true and false. So these are the strings you have learned. Now in this, most of the time we'll be using only these two. String and integers, which means number and text. So in text, you will be seeing 2 types. One is character and the second one is var characters. Okay. In numbers, you may see teeny integer. You may see small. I'll just give a space here. Small integer. You may see here medium. You may see large. In short, it will be big. Or you can write integer also. Okay, these are the things you have it. For date, of course, it will be always date. And for date and time, it will be timestamp. Is it clear? So these are the data types you have it. First thing, char and varchar. So whenever you're using var, which means variables. So you are giving the information variables, and here you have a character. For example, if I'm typing my name, how many characters do you see here? 4. But in this, I'm writing, I need only 10 characters. How many characters I need? 10. So in where characters, I'm mentioning 10. But here what will happen? It will just give you 4 letters of characters. Okay. Tomorrow if I'm writing here, Subramanyam. Okay. How many characters you are seeing now? 10?
10.
Okay. I'm writing here one more. So it is 11 characters. But actually it will accept only 10. So how much characters you'll get? It will throw error. What it will do? Throw error. Okay. But here only 10 letters you can use it. Maximum 10, because I have given the condition the text should be only 10. Got the point? So in a text we'll be basically giving the length of the text, how much we require. Okay, then what is the use of this? Fine, chalo theek hai. Now you have character here. Okay, in this also I'm giving 10 letters. So when I'm giving here 10 letters, when I'm typing Ayub, how many letters do you see? 4. But it will take 10. It will capture complete letter. In the backend, it will give you the spaces. Okay, and here it is 10, it will give you 10. Tomorrow if you write here Sunil, Sunil is actually 5 letters. Varchar will give you that, and but character will give you 10. So what is the differences? Which is good in terms of performance?
Yeah.
Character or where characters?
Varchar.
Okay. So varchar is very clear because it will take only the consuming data. So in terms of performance, it is very clear. Okay. Wherein character, it will take more time to load. So each row, not now, when you have a lakhs of data, it will go and check each rows and it will evaluate these things. So in terms of performance, varchar is very easy and faster to the result. Clear? Okay. Now when it comes to the integer part, when it comes to the integer part, what do you mean by integer, guys?
Numbers. Numbers.
So you have something called tiny integer, small, and medium. So basically, the human being age will be approx 130. Can we consider 130? Okay. If I'm giving here 200, so what do you think? Will it accept? Tiny means what? A small data. Okay, whenever you are using a small specific information, at that time you will be using it. So you are giving a restriction for your data sets. Getting the concept here? Now, when the age is lesser than 130, I can use tiny integer for the performance wise. If I have a more data, then I can use small. If I have more than that, I can use medium. So these are the data types here. Which data type you need? But in real time scenario, let me explain you very simple way. In text, always you will be using varchar, and in numbers, you will be using integer, which is known as int. These two concepts only you'll use. But when you have a huge amount of data and you want to reduce the space or the performance wise, improving the performance, then you will be selecting these all informations. Got it? Now let me just show you one example here. Which one? The morning one? Morning one they have given. No? 9:30 to 11:30. Oh, they have given, I guess. Check it out. So first thing, before going to that, we are using a data type topic. So here in SQL, you have numeric, date, timestamp, date and time, and which one? String. Okay. Now in this scenario, if I say you, tiny integer has 128 capacity, which means it will consider only the 1 byte. The size of limit is reducing here. So when I talk about the bytes, it's a size. Okay, for the performance, we use the size part. According to this byte only, the performance will improve. So in short, if you want me to say, if you have 2 GB of RAM and if you are installing PUBG, will it get installed? No, because of the size. Getting it? The PUBG game itself is 128 and the package will be installed 3.3. So at that time, you can't use tiny integer. You can use small, or you can use medium, or you can use integer. Got the point here? So step by step, you need to understand. So the value which I'm saying you signed value and unsigned value is totally different. Unsigned values are calculating for rows, the range, and these are for the values. Okay, signed value means you can only accept up to 128 minus to positive 127. If you are giving the maximum value like 200 or 250, then it will throw error. Got it? So these are the limitations we are seeing. But in real-time scenario, as I said, which one we'll be using? Integer. Why integer? It is minus xyz number to again plus xyz number. So that is why we are saying directly you can select this integer. But in some scenarios, you will be using, for example, age. As I said, your age bucket, it will not be beyond the limit. No one's age will be 200, 300. So in that, you can use tiny integer. Got the point here? So this is one option. Second, coming to this floating part. So floating means negative value to positive value. You can use negative to positive with a decimal numbers. That is how it works floating. And double also works in the same way, but it will be having XYZ number. You can say trillion, you can say million, whatever the numbers you wanted, XYZ. So whenever you are using more than millions, then you can try with this, the data types. Coming to the fixed point. Fixed points, you have decimal value. This is called decimal. I'll be discussing this in some other class, not now. So this decimal we'll be discussing later. Now, the last option what you have is date and time. When I'm talking about the date and time, the date and time format. In Excel, how it will be? Basically?
Day, month, year.
So today is what?
21st.
01, 2025. But SQL will always take year as a first condition. Whenever you are writing the date, year will be considered as a first. Then month. Then day. Is it clear? But it will give you in this format only in Excel. I'm saying you again, 2025 hyphen 01 for month and 21 for day. This is how it will give you in SQL. In Excel, whatever the format is, you can modify. But in MySQL, you can't modify. In case if you are seeing the date like this, 21 hyphen 01 hyphen 2025, it's already created. When you're creating, you have to use this format. And here in MySQL, okay. Now here, what I was talking about, yes, the year. So when we are talking about this, every time, whenever you write the date function here, you will be using double quotes. Actually, in Excel, you don't use double quotes, right? Even in Tableau, even in Power BI, you have never used double quotes. But in MySQL, you have to use double quotes whenever you are representing the date. Okay, to add the date, you have to use this way. Any questions? So this is the date function. Now in date, you have here timestamp also, which will give you UTC, Universal Time Zone also. And apart from that, you will be having a time, which is hour, minutes, and seconds. This is not so important, so I'm not dragging this much. And here you can use 4 types, which means string format when you're using double quotes. When you want a number code, you can directly use like this. And 2-digit, you can use double quotes again. Clear? So like this year format will work. Now coming to the string function, which is as per I said you. So in short, character is non-binary string. Okay. The length is fixed as you declare. Whenever you give any kind of a length in this character, the maximum value you can use is 255. The text length will be 255. No, sir, I need 300 length. It is not possible. Okay, maximum length will be 255. If you are declaring, for example, if I'm giving here, character has 25, it will be fixed. Beyond this, you can't use it. Okay, lesser than this only you have to write the text. This is the length of the text. Clear? But it will be fixed. In varchar, it is a non-string again, but here it's a variable. As I said, varchar is known as for variable. So even though if you are writing 25, even though if you are writing 25 here and the data doesn't contain 25, it will only capture 4. Okay, the text, and here it will capture 25. But it will give you a trailing space, which means in the backend it will be having a space, which you will not be able to see. I hope this makes clear with everyone. So which one you gonna use? Character or varchar? Simple. Clear on the concept? Yeah, this will be constant over here, characters. This will be flexi. Got it? Any questions here? Now coming to the most important part. I want everyone to take a screenshot first, because I can't share this. So that is the reason. Please take a screenshot. Server. The first one is DDL, data definition language. When you're gonna use, let's understand here step by step. So if you see DDL, while creating a table or a database, while dropping a table or a database, while modifying your table or database, and deleting the data. Okay, so DDL is used for create, drop, alter, and truncate. So these are SQL commands. Based on this, you will be having the options. Sorry. So let's start again. So DDL is for data definition language, where you're gonna create, drop, alter, and truncate. In which scenario you're gonna understand, we'll be discussing later. Now DCL, what is the full form of DCL? You have taken a screenshot, no? Data
control language.
DCL stands for controlling language. Okay, so what you are trying to control? The data. Okay, in that you will be giving grant and revoke. Only administrator will be having this access. Who is admin? Only they will be having this access. Clear? DML, data manipulation language, where you will be using insert, update, and delete. And here you have TCL, transaction control language, where you're gonna use commit, rollback, and save point. DQL is nothing but select. Okay, as a data analyst, which query will be writing more? So this is the one which will be writing more. Got it? So DQL is very important for us. Data query language. So SQL stands for
Structured query language. Structured query.
It is structured only, no? I have a doubt. SQL query language it is.
SQL.
SQL or structure?
Structured query language.
Earlier it was SQL query language. Then they have converted into a
Structured.
Why? Because of a table form, rows and column, the combination. And you can only add structured data. So which means unwanted information, you can't add it while creating. Got the point? Even you can use comma, plus, whatever the sign you have, you can't use that. It will throw error. Remember this. So that is why we say structured query language. And most important, you'll be working here in real-time scenario on DQL. Rare cases, you will be working on DDL, and rare cases, you will be working on DML. But in class, you will be learning all the 4 modules, not only 1, 4 commands you will be learning. 1 and these 3. Okay, why not DCL? As I said, it will be only having a admin access. So we are not the admin who can give a grant and revoke options. Got it? So we'll be understanding how to create, how to modify the table, then how to play the transaction record, and then how to use the select query. Clear? So these are the important. Daily, I'm gonna ask you. Remember this. From now onwards, it will be a real-time scenarios. So day to day, I'll be asking what is the information, which command we are using, why we are using, all the questions I'll be asking. because this is the last module and I want you to be 100% on this. Thank you. Now, first thing, DDL. So when I'm talking about the DDL, what we have done now, we have created and we have dropped. So two commands are available here. Okay, but we have not used alter and so we'll be doing that also now. So first we'll be creating a database. So how to create, again I'm showing you. From here we are starting the live class. So first thing I'm writing here, create database, and the database name I'm giving as Feb_25. You can't give space. Got it? If you are giving space, it will not accept. And even though if you're typing in capital letter, it will convert into a small letter only. So it's not a case sensitive. Clear? Whatever you type, it will give you small letter only. And then after this, semicolon, control, enter. And you can see, do you see anywhere Feb? No. If I refresh, am I seeing Feb here? Can you guys try everyone online?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in case if you are running again and again, it will throw error. Let me explain you how. See, first thing, what you are trying to create, you are trying to create a Feb25 database, right? Okay, it's already showing you here in the screen. So if I see, and if I run it again, suppose I'm keeping my cursor and I'm running it. What I'm getting here, can't create database Feb25 because what? Database exists, which means it's already there. Okay, so this is how the condition works. First condition. Now, to activate this database, you're gonna always use Feb_25 to activate that database. Now, can you see the bold color here? Earlier, you were not seeing the bold. Now you are seeing the bold color, which means it is getting activated. Okay. If you want to keep that database as a default, right click, and you can see here somewhere default. Yes, set as default schema. So whenever you open, you don't have to write this. You will be using default schema. But in real-time scenario, will not be keeping like default because every day we'll be changing the database. Got it? So whenever you come to the class, you have to use this word. Use Feb25. So you're activating this database. Inside this database, what do you want to see? Of course, in a database, what do you see? Tables. We are talking about the tables here. So I'm writing here, show tables. If I run this and see, do I have any tables in Feb25? So there is 0 table. So what are we gonna do? If we don't have a table, we're gonna create a table. Clear on this? Step by step, we are learning. We'll try to create one sample table, then we'll delete that table also. Okay? To cross check. Now here, I'm gonna use after show tables. When I'm running, I'm not seeing any kind of table. Agree? Okay. I'm gonna create one table called XLR. Okay, or I'll be using some, okay, test. We'll create a table. So create, no one will touch your screen, just listen carefully. Table, which is called test. Okay, and then we are opening the bracket. So whenever we create a table, what and all things are required? First is column header is required. Got the point here? So we're gonna discuss about the column header. So I'm just giving one serial number, has an integer. As I said I'll be using integer over here. Clear? Then name I'm using, which is a test name, which I'm using character 20. So this time it is fixed letter. And then I'm using here city, which is varchar. You can use anything I said 30 and closing the bracket. Okay, name will be fixed 20 letters, or it may be lesser also. It will fix as a 20 letter. It doesn't matter, but city can vary. Got the point? Now, if I'm running this, you will see here below created a table. Can you see here? Okay. If I see I don't find any table, right? So first thing I need to refresh. Now you can see the arrow button. If I expand, I'm seeing here test. If I click here, automatically I'll see the column names, table name and column name information here. But this is showing you the data type. Okay. Now if I want to see here again, I want to see show tables. How many tables I have in that database? Now, can you see how many I have? One, which I have created now. Agreed? Okay. Now, if I want to see in that table which data type I have it, then I'll be using here describe. You can use describe as like this, or else you can use describe like this also. Okay, describe which table? Test table. So we're gonna use here test. And when I run this, it will show me the information here itself. Now in this, what exactly you're describing? Let's see. First thing, you're seeing the field. Field means column name. Second, the type of that field. That field contains integer, which is number, characters, and where characters. Null are acceptable. So I can give a null values. Clear? Key, I didn't use any kind of a key. Yesterday we have discussed about primary and foreign key. Overview I'm saying. Okay. So we have not added anything. Default, I don't have anything. Extra, there is nothing. So this will show you the information about your data, which means the column information inside that table. So in real-time scenario, for example, I'm just showing you one example. Show tables. In that database, how many tables I have, I don't know. So now you can see n number of tables you are seeing. So totally how many tables you have? 31 tables. In that, if I write here describe, can you see how many columns you are seeing? So in that, which data type you have, all the information you're seeing. Clear on this? So these are the data types which you're using it in real-time scenario. So like this, you will be applying it. So for that only, we are seeing step by step a manual process. That is the reason I said, take a screenshot for these things. Which one it is? DML, data manipulation language. Thank you. Power BI can't be installed in Mac. Santosh. Yes, you have a virtual Windows machine, Santosh Kumar. You can use that. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, so to insert, but before that, I want to see, I have created a table. I have seen the table. Now what I have to use? Because I don't want to test it. So I want to use drop. What we are doing with drop? If I write drop test, will it work? No, you have to write drop table name test. Then if you run it, it will get deleted. Now, do you see any table here? Do you see? No. So you have deleted the table permanently. You can't retrieve the table again back. So always don't use this drop table concept, but you should learn. So for the testing purpose, we are doing it. Got the point? Can you please make? So again, we are creating one more table. Create table called as sample. I'm using serial number again, has integer, then name has character. I'm using the same output 20, and city has var character, which is 30. So this time I have changed my table name. Just because to change the table name, you have deleted a table. So to see the data type, which option I should use?
Sure. Describe.
Okay. To see the data, the records means rows. To see that, we're gonna use here select star from sample. So this is for your data type of column header, and this is for your records, whether you have a data inside that table or not. Got it? So this is a common scenario in real time you'll be using. Select star from any table name. Now, right. Now listen carefully. We're gonna update the data now. So no one will touch. So whenever you want to insert any records, you'll be using DML queries, which is called insert. Okay. So in this, I'm gonna write a few topics. So no one will touch your screen. So whenever you want to write the DML commands, you have to use insert into which table you're referring, sample, and then you'll give values here, 1, comma. If you want to give any name, you can give it, but please follow my name for the time being. For number, you don't have to give double quotes. For text, you have to give the double quotes. So I'm writing here, okay, and I'm running it. So if I want to again add one more record, then I'll be using here insert into again sample values again. So one by one, we are writing the queries. Vijay, then I'm gonna write here Chennai, and then I'm gonna run this query. Clear? If you want to check the data, whether whatever you have updated, then you will be using select star from sample and run and check. You will see the 2 records. In your table, 2 records has been updated. Query, which means one single insert, I have to run all the requirements. So I'll be adding 3-4 more informations. So let's see. I'm writing here insert into sample. No one will touch your screen, please. Values. Then I'm giving here 3, Suresh, and he's from Mumbai. Then comma, and then you'll be running again 4th requirement. You can continue there also, or you can use the second line also. No issues. 4, and I'm using here Sunil as Chennai, Pune. Then I'm closing the bracket. Then I'm using the 5th one as Darshan from Bangalore again. And then I'm running it. Okay. Once I give semicolon, that means it's a full stop of that query. Control enter. And now let me just see. Again, to cross check the data, we're gonna use what option? Select star from sample, and we'll cross check. Sir, why we are writing again and again? We have here, right? Yes, if you are a pro, you can run this. If you want to learn, then start doing like this, the way I am doing it. Okay, it's a humble request. So you are getting all the information in one single go. So earlier you have used separate insert to insert 2 records, but this time in one single insert you have records 3. Got the point? The guys have inserted, you have inserted 4 columns. Okay, and 5 or 6 n number of rows. It may be n number of rows. Okay, I don't want to discuss that now. Now, after this, what we are doing is we are trying to add more few columns. If I want to add few columns, how to add it? So that is comes under DML, which is known as insert. But I said I want to add columns, right? So that will come under alter option. Which option it will come? Alter. So again, it will be DDL command. See how the concept is working. You have created a database, then you have deleted if you don't require. After creating a table, you have inserted the record. Okay. Then after inserting, if you want to do any alteration, you are using alter command. Got the point here? Now after altering, if you want to update, you will update it. If you want to delete all the records, you will use truncate. If you want to delete only few records, then you'll use delete. Got the point now? So this is working with DDL and DML concept. Clear on this concept now? Again, I'm explaining you very clearly. See here, listen. So first concept, what we have done is we have created a table. So in this scenario, I'm just highlighting creation of the table. Then after creation from here, what we have done, we have inserted the records. Okay, if you want to drop, you can drop. Drop is optional. Okay. Now after inserting, we need to modify that table. To modify, which option we are using? Alter. After modification, if I want to update, I'll update the records. If I want to delete few records, I'll use delete. If I want to delete all the records, I'll use truncate. Got the concept here now again? Clear? So one by one, we're gonna discuss on this now. So now which option we're gonna use here?
Alter.
If I want to add a column. Now in alter, you have 4 conditions. So which is DDL command. And in this, you have 4 commands. One is add column. Second one is modify data type. Third one, change column, which means changing the column name. Fourth one, rename table. One more should be there. Yeah. So we'll be using drop, no? Deleting the column and then rename. So these are the conditions we have in alter. One by one, we're gonna discuss on this topic. Thank you. Now, first we'll be discussing about adding 2 columns. Now, first thing, I want to add 1 column has age, okay? But I want to add somewhere else. I'll be discussing that. So I'll be adding 3 columns now. I repeat. One is age, second one is state, third one is sales. Clear? So one by one, I'm doing it. Alter table. Which table we are using? Sample. Listen carefully. Don't touch your system. Just try to understand. If you're breaking your head, you'll not learn anything. If you're typing, you'll not learn anything. Just listen carefully. Alter table called sample, and we are adding column here. First column I'm using age. Okay, has tiny integer. So I've used this. I'm using semicolon and control enter. Then after that, again I'm using alter table sample, add column, which is known as total underscore sales integer. So I've added this. Well and fine. Now I'll be checking what we have it here. Let's see. Select star from sample. So you got age and total sales, 2 column added. Now I want to add state before the city. Before city. So let's see. Alter table sample, add column, state has what? Varchar 30, closing the bracket. Now after name. Clear? Why I have written after name here? Because name, after name I'll get state, then I'll get city. So let me run and check. Now if I use here select sample, can you see here state column? Got it added? So this is how you can add specific name. After that, if you need to add a state or any column, you'll give that name column name over here. So if I need after city, then I'll give after city. Got the point? For example, let me use pin code. Okay, sorry, I'll not type, I'll not modify that. I'll write one more. Alter table sample, add column. Okay, pin code. Okay, that is integer again. After which column? City column. If I run this, now let's see. Select star from sample and run this query. Can you see after city what you got? Is it working fine? So these are the sequence. After which column you need which column to be added. Clear? Giving 3 columns. So that is the reason you are getting error. Got it? Whenever you create a table or add a column, now you need to modify according to that column. So now you have almost 7 columns. Okay, according to this, you have to add it. So you have to use insert into sample values, 6th record, which is Salman. Then state. State is what? Maharashtra. I'm just using MH. Then I'm using here Mumbai has a city. And then pin code, whatever I know, I'm just writing it. Then age, let's keep 57. And then what is the total sales? 25,000. And then you need to close. So this is one information you have added now. Got it? So all the column information you need to add. I hope this makes clear now. If you try to run this, and after that, if you use select star from sample, and if you run, you can see here. So you need to mention all the information, whatever the columns you have. So earlier you had only 3 columns. So that is the reason I asked you to write this. Now what we have done, we have added 6th row. Salman has a name, state is Maharashtra, Mumbai has a city, pin code number XYZ, age and salary or sales. These all information you need to update. According to the column, you will change now. Can you guys do it? Any question, guys? Are we clear? Cool. Now let's understand the second concept. Now I want to modify the age, because why I'm need to modify, I'll explain. I want to add age as, 200 plus. One Chinese old guy, he's 200 plus age. So I want to add his name. So let's see. Which Lama? Insert into sample values, the 7th record, and I'm adding has a Lee. Okay. I don't know where he is from. So let me just write here China. China is a country, but still I'm using it. And HK, Hong Kong. And let's take here the pin code, whatever it may be. Age, I'm using 250. Listen carefully now. No one will type. And sales, I'm giving 30,000. Okay. If I run the first thing, what it is saying me? For what? Which column?
Age column.
Age column. Because when I have used, which data type I have used here for the age?
Tiny int.
Tiny integer. Tiny integers is how much capacity you have?
Minus 127 to plus 122.
Unsigned one is minus 128 to 127. Okay. So which only the negative value to positive value. Signed. Unsigned means you will be having only positive values. Okay. In this, if you properly observe, unsigned value is minus 128 to 127, which is called as negative to positive value. Signed means. Unsigned means it will not take negative value. Okay. So that is the reason it is throwing me the error. So the range, it is not accepting 250. So what I have to do? I have to change that column name, or I have to change the data type. What should I change?
Data type, sir.
Data type. Thank you. So now I'm using here alter, table, sample, modify, column. Which column it is? Age. Okay, from int integer, I'm just changing it. Clear? It was tiny integer. Now what I'm changing now?
Integer.
Integer. After changing this, okay, I'm gonna insert the same records. Let's see and run it. Now, am I getting error?
Also.
No. Earlier I was getting error. After changing this into integer, I'm not getting. So to change the data type, you will be using which concept? Modify. Clear on this? Please make a. Now, I want to remove unwanted columns. What I want to do? Unwanted columns I want to remove. For example, I want to remove pin code. I want to remove the state. So here, I'm using again alter, table, sample. Which condition I'm using? Drop, column, and which column it is? Pin code. Then you can give a comma and you can write here state. If I'm writing this, is it working? No. So whenever you want to use multiple columns, then you have to use again column and then you'll be using here state. Is it still working? Okay. Then if I'm using here drop, is it working now? So in alter, you can use multiple times same condition. Okay. Now if I run this, it got affected. Now let's see. I have deleted 2 columns. Can you see that now? Clear on this? Now how many columns you are seeing? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So to delete the column, you will be using which word? Drop. So please make a note of this. I want to change the age column name. Are you getting it? Age column name to quantity and total sales column to sales. So how we gonna use it? Let's see. Alter, table, sample. Now what I have to use? Change column from age to what? Quantity, QTY. Then I have to write integer, which data type you're using. Clear? If I run this, it will give me the answer. And again, I'm using alter table, sample, change column, total sales, okay, to what? Sales, again integer. So if I run and check it, select star from sample and run this. Can you see here quantity and sales? Earlier it was total sales and age. Now we have renamed it. Got error?
No,
Got error?
sir.
Good.
Yes.
Appreciate. Because you have not count number of numbers. So how many numbers you have first you need to see? 5. Then you're gonna insert into sample values and then you're gonna use serial number 8 and then Ajay and he's from Bangalore and then you'll be writing whatever the quantity you need and you will be writing whatever the values you have. Got it? So if you write only 3 output, again you will get an error, count of column error. Okay, so let's recall everything what we have done till now. The first thing, add column, right? Then modify column, then drop column,
Change.
and then change column. Something is missing.
Alter.
Rename, sir.
Rename.
Rename is missing. Changing the column. I need to rename the table now. Getting it?
Modify data types, sir.
Modifies the data type. No, already done. No, column data. So when we are talking about rename, there are 2 ways to execute. So first thing, alter, table, sample, rename to example. This is one way to apply. Then what option I need to write here? Select star from sample. What I'm getting here?
Sir, Example.
Sir,
Because I have renamed
example,
to what?
Example.
table name
Example.
is changed.
So I've changed my table name. Okay, now am I getting it? Okay, again, I'm using directly rename table example to what?
Sample.
Now if I run this, even this is working fine. Then if you use select star from what now? Sample,
Sample.
you got the answer. Clear? You can use alter, or without alter also you can rename. There are two ways to rename it. So that comes under the altering part. So you're altering the table here. Please make a note from file, Control S. So here we are writing the day2, DQL and DDL and
DML.
DML queries. Clear? So we have learned today these two concepts.